All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another new exclusive episode of The Reality Kenya. My name is Simi Kenya, of course. We are back for the new week. This is the first week of October, and we are so grateful for the month that you have taken with us. We have grown, and we keep growing each and every day. And of course, we are still here from the Learned Corner, giving you the best experiences and the best that you need to know about our country and the occurrences. So today, our guest as usual is the Deputy Party Leader, Safina Party, Honorable Wakili Willis Otieno PIKI PONKI. Karibu sana once
Thank
again.
you very much.
Happy New Week.
Happy New Week and Happy New Month.
Yes.
To our viewers. I can see we are growing strong.
Yes.
The team PIKI PONKI is growing.
Kabisa.
And we are going to be the ones that will chart the new path for this country.
Yes.
As team PIKI PONKI. Not Willis, but team. All of us are going to own this conversation.
Exactly.
Because we've always said that the conversation about this country should be a conversation about economic empowerment.
Yes.
We are going through the third and final liberation, which is an economic liberation. And Kenya Kwanza has been unable to respond to this conversation. Remember that time when Azimio was doing Mandamano?
Yes.
They were telling us that as they are wearing sufurias on their heads, they were busy on their farms.
Yes.
Then last week we witnessed a statement that they are going to import yellow maize to feed Kenyans. What happened to the maize that farmers produce? What happened to the fertilizer? No, I told you these things.
Yes.
That if you are dealing with the food security, you cannot just throw fertilizer at food security and say now you've resolved.
You have sorted
the problem. No. Food security is an entire value chain.
Yeah.
Starting from field preparation, farmer training, identifying and using appropriate seeds and seed technology, and training the farmers on how to space even their crop.
Yeah.
Having extension officers stationed in every ward, as we were proposing in our manifesto at Safina, to be able to work with the farmers, take stock of what are the crops that can do well in that particular region. You do the soil testing so that your interventions should be holistic, not just throwing fertilizer at the problem that, okay, we throw fertilizer, you don't even know which fertilizer it is that soil is appropriate to that soil.
Yeah.
Because soils have different pH levels and acidity. So not all soils, for example, need DAP and CAN, the nitrogen fertilizers. So that is where Kenya Kwanza, in my view, goes wrong. There are very simplistic ways of trying to address the problems of this country.
Yeah.
They thought just throw in oil, G2G oil, and the dollar will come down. My friend, the market does not run on propaganda or your wishes. The market runs on economic indicators. The dollar now is comfortably sitting at 153. 153 now. And I told you, remember I told you?
Yes.
By the end of this month, this dollar is going to be hitting 160.
Yes.
So $1, 160 shillings to $1 by the end of October.
Yeah.
And the way they are going, you will not be surprised if it even hits 200 before the end of the year. And that's not because I'm a prophet. I'm a reader of science.
Yeah.
No, me, I'm like Samuel in the Bible, or Elijah.
Yeah.
God just shows me signs of what is happening.
Yes.
And the signs that God is showing me is just to go and read, look at the markets, do comparative analysis with countries which have been in almost similar situations. Yeah. And you can tell the trajectory, where they are going, where they've ended up. Kenya, Ghana, Lebanon, Argentina, Sri Lanka, same WhatsApp group. Soon to be joined by Nigeria and maybe Egypt.
Yes.
Same WhatsApp group. Their trajectories are the same. The ratio of debt to GDP, debt to revenue, at the time when Ghana was declaring a debt exchange distress, 70% of their 70 shillings of every 100 they were collecting was going to debt finance. Kenya last week, the controller of budget said, out of every 100 Kenya shillings we collect, 83 shillings goes to debt finance.
So we have even surpassed Ghana.
We've surpassed at the point when Ghana declared a crisis. We have passed it. We are at 83, sitting comfortably at 83 shillings for every 100. Which household is this that can run on 17 Kenya shillings when you need 30 shillings to pay rent? That is your operations, O&M, operational maintenance, just run government. You need 30 shillings to pay salaries. You need a minimum 15 shillings to give to counties. It can't. The largest outflow out of your debt budget books is called debt.
Yeah.
And you must go and look into that debt problem. That is the only way you are ever going to address this thing called cost of living.
Yeah.
No, even when they are saying they are going to import yellow maize.
Yellow maize.
No, I said Kenya Kwanza is turning Kenya to be an import-oriented country. We are importing more than we are producing. And the more you import goods, the more strain on your shilling, the more your shilling loses value. Because when you import based on the US dollar,
Yeah.
which you don't have control over. So, and you have less items you are selling in the international market. So your shilling gets weak.
Yeah, because majority may not understand why this drastic increase of the dollar against the dollar exchange against our shillings.
Yeah.
Because I think when Kenya Kwanza was coming in the office, it was around 120.
Around 120, yes.
Within 1 year, it has increased. Like every month, it increases around 10.
10, yes.
What causes this?
Of course,
drastic?
it is part of first and foremost is that most of our domestic debt, is in dollars. So the debt problem, there's a strain on your revenue. You have a huge debt portfolio, which most of it is in dollars.
Yes.
So there's a demand for dollars. Then number two, you are importing more goods than you're producing. So you are relying on other people's goods to sustain yourself. And you have to go and buy those goods in the international market.
Yes.
And yet you don't have enough revenue, US dollars. So your competitiveness is reduced.
Yeah.
You are producing your few items here that you produce and you sell in Kenya shillings. Your shilling is weaker.
So you get
because no one wants it.
As compared to what you spend.
What you spend. That is those are things that end up weakening your shilling. You're not competitive. So more and more that you see Kenya government says we'll import this, we'll do this, just know all of that is cumulatively starts affecting the cost of living and the quality of life that the common Kenyan will live. An interesting thing that I observed also, if you look at this weekend, now always said the chicken are coming home to roost. And winter is here.
Yes.
I saw Archbishop Ole Sapit very eloquently put it out that Kenya Kwanza cannot deliver on all these many promises they keep saying. Can you just tell Kenyans the truth that we are not going to deliver on all these things we keep saying?
Yes.
Even what we promise during the campaigns, and prioritize what you can deliver on.
Yeah.
So the former Archbishop Diego of the AIC Church speaking in almost similar terms.
Yeah.
Even the Apostle Nganga is calling out government. So we have more and more voices even within the church fraternity
who are
now coming into the conversation that we've been trying to advocate.
Yeah.
That let us call out this administration for what it is. They are not able to deliver on their mandate. Life is becoming more and more unbearable to the common man by the day. And you are not seeing any concerted program or plans that you can say is going to change the trajectory.
Yeah.
This trajectory is exactly where the other countries which I've mentioned we belong to within the WhatsApp group were. And it is onerous on everybody to speak truth to the administration. You don't have to fear because Kenya is for all of us. If somebody is running a PIKI PONKI economy, you call him out for what it is. Because these are people's lives you're talking about.
True. And
you're wasting our years with the experiments. Kenya needs a solid economic program that is going to uplift the lives of our people from the pain they are going through today to start to move to a point where we say that they see positive change in their lives. The cost of living should be bearable to everybody. Minimum wage should be a minimum wage that takes into account what I call the basic food basket.
Yes.
How much is your food basket today as a country, and commensurate to what you are paying as minimum wage, are you able to sustain
the livelihood and
that a decent person deserve? So those are some of the challenges that we are facing. But long and short of it, Kenyans are within the economic conversation. The conversation is now about the economy. Stupid.
Do you think Kenyans are now coming into the reality that what they need now is the economic
Yes.
direction?
We are now going to have an economic revolution in this country.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Kenyans are interested in any promises. They are not interested in history. They are more interested in what is going to impact on their lives today.
Yeah.
We've now gone through a decade of multi-party elections since 1992.
Yes.
And so I believe that the dictates of multi-party are now settled. They are cemented in Kenya that we'll always have periodic,
Yeah.
free and fair multi-party elections, even with some challenges that we've been facing.
Yeah.
But the question of political rights is settled. What has not been settled is our social and economic rights. The quality of life that the Kenyan is living.
Yeah.
How do we achieve the true potential of an individual, applying their best ability to self-actualize? Because people are now looking for decent living.
Yes.
And it's about the economy. It's no longer about
We are supporting.
you're supporting
Where
who,
you come from.
or even the conversation around creating positions for wakubwa.
Yes.
Like some people are trying to do in Bomas, that maybe you create position of prime minister.
Office of the Prime Minister.
Kenyans are not interested in those things.
Yes.
They are not interested in those things. Kenyans just want to know, how is government affecting our lives? How can government change our economic situation?
Yeah.
And remember I told you that what Ruto is trying to practice is called the demand side economics, where they think that government is the driver of everything. And government should give you tutawapatia, tutatengeneza, tuta. As we believe, remove government, we play what is called supply side economics, as advocated by Jimmy Wanjigi, where you have little government in your space, and government just comes in to remove barriers to your development. What is it that government is doing that is stopping you from accessing a market? That's the time you call to government, and government removes it to facilitate you to access your market, so that you should be able to trade freely, and you should be able to self-actualize economically, applying your best efforts. If government is overborrowing the domestic market, right, thereby denying you credit facility, go and remove government from domestic borrowing, so that banks have money. The banks will now come looking for you and I, that I have this money, I want to lend it to you. Interest rate will reduce. That time interest rate now will even be 5%. With 5% interest rate and you have access to credit facility, many Kenyans will be able to do so many things all over. So that will spur the economy, because you imagine if in their totality many Kenyans across the board are able to access these credit facilities at a reasonable rate, the kind of things that they will be doing to boost the economy. Because there will be so much money in our pockets and so many activities taking place that is transforming the nation. But Kenya Kwanza believes they should be the ones going to the market, borrow money from the government, from the banks, and take all of it to live large. So there is no productivity going on that you can say the money they took from the banks, they've applied it, for example, to build this economic activity that is paying back to the exchequer money in terms of revenue. And they're not. They're just spending it for their current expenditure, which is also illegal, because borrowing should only be used for purposes of development, not for the current expenditure. The control of budget has confirmed they are spending borrowings on recurrent expenditure, which is also illegal.
But Naibu, most politicians always have great ideas, just like all these that we have been talking about, until they get into power. How sure are Kenyans going to be that when Safina Party takes over this mantle to solve the economic situation, crisis that we have in Kenya, they are not going to experience what they have experienced? Because politicians always come with plans. Like you see, Kenya Kwanza had what they call the plan. That made Kenya look like a paradise in the next 5 years from 2022. 1 year down the line, it is worse than where it was in 2021. So, how?
You know, I always say, you've said very well, most politicians, that's they're not politicians. That is what they know.
Yes.
That is how they've been in those offices. That is how they've conducted their trade. That is what they were inducted into. That's what they were taught. That's what they were trained in. So, by their own demeanor, by their own being, by their own upbringing, they are wired to tell lies
Yeah.
to get into office. That is who they are.
Their foundation is anchored.
Their foundation is anchored on deceit.
Yes.
As we are not politicians, I have never been elected
Yeah.
to hold any public office. Me, I'm a newbie.
Yeah.
Me, I'm simply saying this system that has been running our country is rotten. It's a system that is meant to perpetuate the subjugation of the people into penury. When a few people up here are the ones enjoying economic empowerment.
Yeah.
So I'm saying we need to bring down that entire system, break it up.
Yeah.
Let's have a conversation that is purely concerned about the economic empowerment of the people. And I have not been a politician. I don't know. I don't hold any. I have no baggage from the political class that I can say,
Yeah.
I will do this, then I go back to them. I don't belong to that class. I belong to the class of Monanchi.
Yeah.
That is where I've learned my art. That is where I've learned my ethics. That's where I've learned my leadership and economic ideals from the people, not from the deceiters. And as I always say, if Kenyans are okay with the last 60 years,
Yes.
if the last 6 years have been good, the choices will be very clear.
Yeah.
They can continue voting for the politicians. Because you know what you will get. They will come, lie to you, mesmerize you, you vote for them, then you go back into default settings, pain and suffering.
Yeah.
On the other hand, me, I'm not one of them. Jimmy and I, we are not them. As we are new,
Yeah.
we don't have any old baggage of the existing political class. And we are telling you, let's change the system, genuinely, because we are coming from the people,
Yeah.
not like them,
Not from the political.
not from the
side.
political side.
Yeah.
Let's change this thing. And what is the potential that exists on our side? In our worst case scenario, we will do what they've been doing to you.
What they call their best.
What they call their best. That's what they've been doing to you.
Yeah.
But what is the potential on our side? There is more potential to do something totally new on this side than on that other side. So if you want to continue the way you've lived your lives, an election cycle, complaint, pain, suffering, election cycle, again pain, complaint, suffering, another election cycle, go with the political class. They represent you very well in that sphere.
Yes.
But if you want to try something new that totally overhauls the system,
Yeah.
overhauls the system in terms of what is the priority of our leadership. I don't even consider myself a politician. I consider myself as an aspiring a leader.
Yes.
I'm aspiring to be a leader, to lead a people into coming up with concrete programs and plans that will transform the economic situation in this country.
Yeah.
And you see some of these things that you say we're even promising. We are not even saying that we are going to build for you. And we are not telling you how we will build it. As we are saying, we are on the supply side of economics.
Yes.
The empowerment will be people driven. As government, we will just identify the barriers
That makes people not to
not to grow. So we just remove those barriers. And I'll give you an example. On domestic borrowing. We are saying, as government, we will simply not take domestic debt.
Yeah.
Then we free the market that the individual at his level, wherever he is, will be able to have access to cheap credit facility.
Yes.
Because government is not borrowing in that market. There is no loss to government when we stop borrowing from the domestic market. We are not going to look for some money to stop. No. We'll just now go for the other if need be.
Yeah.
In fact, I believe government should live within its means. But even if need be, we will go and borrow externally at concession, to take concessionary loans, which even the interest rates are lower.
Yeah.
Then you let our people borrow from the domestic market, access credit facilities at a cheap interest rate, and then they are able, using their best efforts, they are able to invest in the economy. Somebody will say, I want to put up a flat. Somebody says, I want to put up a manufacturing plant in Kisumu. Another one says, I want to put up an abattoir in Mandera. Another one says, I want to put up a fish farm in Homa Bay.
Yeah.
Because they are now able to access credit facilities
At cheap
interest rates.
Yeah.
So you'll be seeing a phenomenal growth in this country like you've never seen before.
Wow.
just by doing that alone. So as we are not promising you that we will give you 10 billion border, we will give you 6 unattainable goals. We simply say we'll pull government back, then allow people to access opportunities at their own respective levels to grow. And when one Kenyan is growing, for example, the person who has taken the loan for a fish farm in Noma Bay, there's what we call backward integration. He'll be able to employ more and more people in Noma Bay who will be working on that fish farm. These people will be spending money in that Noma Bay economy, right? When they are spending money, consumption goes up, government will be able to get money. Because of increased sales of consumables, right? These people are employed, government will be earning money as pay as you are. So we come up with innovative ways to grow the country. Not this template of the politicians. This template, I can tell you, this template of politicians has failed. And it is what is causing us economic pain today. It is time the politicians took a back seat and allowed us to try a new template of leadership. A template that pushes mwananchi to be the driver of the economy, not the politicians giving you solutions. Otherwise, they'll be doing for you games every day. They play with you the Russian roulette, where somebody puts a bullet and they put in your head. If it goes through, they rotate, and if it goes through, you don't know when you will die.
Wakili, as we wind up, talk to Team PIKI PONKI once
Team
again.
PIKI PONKI, we stay strong, we keep engaging. Our social media platforms are growing by the day. I like the spirit, I like the urge. Let's just keep talking, we push this conversation. In time, we will be the largest voice that will be promoting an alternative leadership for our people. And so far, so good. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Wakili.
Thank you, Simi.
Blessed week ahead.
Have a good week.
Of course. Thank you so much, each and every person who has been watching. Keep sharing as usual. Follow on all social media platforms. Willis Evans Otieno on Facebook. Willis Otieno on TikTok. At Otieno Willis on Instagram and Twitter as well. Thank you so much. May God bless you. Until next time. Bye-bye.